Hey there, Cruffin here. This is going to be the last recording I'm going to do for today. I watched one last movie last night, which was Jester's The Game Changers, which is a Korean movie. It's a historical comedy. It has some action elements. I actually really enjoyed it. I know virtually nothing about Korean history. I know enough to know that way back they were three different kingdoms. It was Joseon something. That's what I only know that because I just watched this movie Ming, and then some other country. I don't know the name of. Anyways, this movie takes place in Joseon, I believe during the 1400s, and it has to do with jesters. So at the time, jesters were being persecuted due to a story they were circulating about the king who had supposedly killed his family to become like his brother and a bunch of the queen and a whole bunch of people to become king. And these jesters were being killed because of the fact that they were putting out this story. Whether it was true or not, they didn't want it to come out. It was obviously, regardless, it was making the king look bad. And it's about this group of jesters who are all, they're all funny. Honestly, it's a comedy, so there's definitely comedic elements in it. Who are sort of hired by I guess this is called the minister. I guess he's somebody higher up in the kingdom underneath the king, who to basically paint him in a good light. So they are to do all sorts of things that make him look good. So, for example, just at the very beginning of the movie, the king is bringing his he's just traveling somewhere. There's a bunch of people carrying him in a palisade, and there's a whole bunch of soldiers. And there's a tree block. They've made a tree blocked away, and they made it to look as if like they've used all sorts of contraptions to make it look as if they were using like basically a tree was moving for himself with Buddha in the background to let him pass, and they do all sorts of stuff like that. It's really interesting to see the different methods they use in order to get their different heists, like sort of not heists, but there are different things to work. Like they make flying Buddhas. They have somebody fly. They make one of their little actors fly in the sky, and it's really interesting to see. It had kind of a Ocean's 11 vibe, if that makes any sense. There's a bunch of them. They go and do all sorts of different things to get the king to look good, basically. I'm not going to get further into the plot than that because there is a lot more to it, and that would spoil the movie. But it's actually pretty great. Acting, well, to be honest with you, to me, acting, and when I'm watching people act in another language, it's hard for me to tell if the acting is good or not. Because, especially in Korean, I find that Korean talking is a lot of, they're already pronouncing things in a way that it's very pronounced. I don't know how to say it, pronounced. Like, it's like, they're already, it's not like they're hamming it up because the way their language is, it sounds already very different. So it's like it's hard to see if somebody's overacting to me because I don't speak Korean. Same thing with underacting. So to me, it's hard to tell. I want to say the acting is good. I'm assuming it was, but if somebody speaks Korean, maybe there would be a better opinion on that than me. Set pieces good. Filming was good enough. It was sort of your standard Korean comedy action thing. Historical story. I love all the little costumes, like the little hats that they wear back in back in like the 1400s in Korea. Those are really interesting. Anyways, that's about all I really have to say about the movie. I would give it probably an 8 or a 9. I'm undecided on a regard out of 10. I would suggest watching it. It's definitely not a horror film, which is what I'm mostly focusing on in the festival, but it's definitely something worth a watch. Anyways, thanks for watching and have a great day.